Hey guys, so I'm just going to give you a little walkthrough on the menu system for the VuPeak TC07 solar powered trail camera. So this item was gifted to me to do this video, and so I'm just going to give you this walkthrough here. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and just push it over to the side. That way one little notch, and there we go, turns on. First thing we're going to be presented with is the language. Let's see what we got here. English, French, Spanish, Portuguese, Dutch, Italian, and don't read those languages, but I speak English, so we're going to go ahead and go with English. The control button, the OK button is right here. Alright, so we're going to set the date. So 2024. Let's go 9 and 10. Go down. It is 12:24 a.m. Yes, I am up late. So actually, we don't need to move that. We just need to go over here and go up 24. There. And we're done. So the first thing that we need to get is an SD card. So whenever you're getting an SD card for a trail camera, you want a high-speed card and a high-quality card. Most problems with trail cameras can be boiled down to a bad SD card. So I use SanDisk Extremes. So let me go ahead and put these in here. Okay. Whenever you put an SD card in, it's going to turn it off, and we're going to need to restart it. So push it to off position and back to start. Alright, so the date is set. We see the battery's at 55%. This is straight from the factory. Okay, now let's go to the menu system here. And so initially, we've got the mode. It says photo. You know what? This is kind of reflective, so I'm going to take this little... Much better. Take that little film off. Okay. So we got mode and photo. Pressing OK gives us 3 selections: photo, video, or photo video. I'm going to test this camera out, so I'm going to be using photo video. Okay, PIR interval, that's the amount of time that elapses from the time the camera takes a picture or senses motion. The PIR is the motion detection, so the interval between motion detection. Right now it is set to 30 seconds. If you want to take a lot of pictures quickly, that works good. Personally with me, I like to actually do about 10 minutes for wildlife viewing, because that's about the amount of time that a wildlife will hang around. So unless you want a lot of pictures of the same animals, I do about 10 minutes there, okay? 10 minutes, 30 seconds, that's fine. We'll just do that there. Okay, PIR sensitivity, we have the option of high, medium, or low. I always set the camera to high, and if I get too many false positives, then I'll move it down. Okay, so in testing, IR LED auto, this is going to be basically, auto is going to try to sense the amount of light that is needed and use the brightness level that is appropriate. Economy means it's going to use a lot less battery power, because the one thing that consumes the most battery power is the IR lights whenever they're active, especially while taking video. They have to stay active the entire time, so they do draw the battery down. I'm going to leave it in auto and let it do its thing. Side PIR setup. These are the side sensors right here on the camera, and what their function is basically to wake the camera up. They don't actually cause the camera to turn on and start recording. They get it in a waking state so that when this sensor detects something, then it will actually take a picture faster. So the camera is in standby mode, something's walking in from the side sensors sense it, wake the camera up, so when it's detected by this, it gets a quicker picture. Okay, if you are taking just one picture, I would not recommend this setting. If you have it set to take just one picture. If you have it set to take a series of pictures, this setting is good. Or if you have it to take video, this setting is good. But if you just have the camera set to take one picture, generally what will happen is you'll get a picture of just the head of the animal that's walking in and nothing else. So it's good to use if you're shooting a lot of pictures, a series of 3 or 4 pictures, or a video, then this works pretty good. So I'm actually going to leave it on and then go to the next thing. Time lapse. Now, this is a motion detection camera, but if you wanted just to shoot time lapse, which means that it's just going to shoot one picture at a given intervals, you can go to time lapse. You can turn it on, and then you can set the amount of time between the pictures, which is currently set to 30 seconds. Okay, and you can set that up to minutes or hours. You know, you could do a whole year time lapse, like 1 year, taking one picture each hour or something like that. Okay, but I'm not gonna be using that, so I'm just gonna turn that back off. Loop recording. All this means is that if you leave the camera in the field until the card fills up, which mine is a 32 gigabyte, and it gets completely full. If this is on, then like say this right here, okay, then what will happen is it'll start overriding the oldest images on the camera. So if you turn it to off, once the card gets full, the camera will stop recording at all. Nothing will happen. But if you put it to loop, then once the card is full, then it will start erasing the oldest pictures and overwriting them with new ones. Okay. Monitoring period. Okay, so this is where you can set a time for the camera to be active. Okay, so if you're using it for animals, okay, then most animals are not walking around noon or anything like that. So you can actually turn the time on here. We can go to the start time. Let's set the start time to let's say 4 o'clock in the afternoon, okay? And then the stop time, let's set that to 10 o'clock in the morning. And so the camera will turn on at 4 in the afternoon and it will turn off 10 in the morning. From 10 a.m. to 4 in the afternoon, it will not actually work. Now, if you don't want to use that, you can just turn that off and then it will work 24 hours. Now that we've got these all, we're going to move over to this section. This section right here, see the little camera is green, and here's where we're going to tell the image size. So we have day or nighttime, so we're going to do daytime. This is a 44 megapixel, this is a 60 megapixel camera, but it starts out at 13 megapixel, 16 megapixel, all the way to 20. I always like to take the best picture possible, so we're going to set it to 60 megapixel. Okay, and that's for the daytime. Then at nighttime, the highest resolution is 8 megapixels, so we're going to go ahead and set that for nighttime, okay? And now we'll press the menu to go back. Number of pictures. Now, as I said before, you can set it to take multiple pictures. You have the option of 1 photo, 2 photos, 3 photos, 4 photos, 5 photos. Let's see how many we can go here. Up to 10 photos. I'm going to set it to take 1 photo because I'm also going to set it to take video. So 1 photo. The shutter speed. The faster the shutter speed, the more light you need at night, but the sharper the image. The slower the shutter speed, the less light that you need, but you'll get more motion blur with it. I always like to set it to the fastest speed possible, because I like sharp images and I want to reduce motion blur. All right, so now let's hit over the side button. Go over here. Now we're on video. Now we can choose our video strength, our daytime video, 4K at 30 frames per second. Okay, and then the lowest option is 360p at 30 frames per second. But I'm going to do 4K. Let's see what it looks like. Okay. And nighttime, it's got Ultra HD at 30 frames per second. Let's shoot that there. That looks good. And so we've got that set up. Let's go back over here. Video length. You can set it to 5 seconds. Let's see what the lowest setting here is. 5 seconds is the lowest amount. And then The highest is 180 seconds, which is 3 minutes. So, but I'm just going to set it to 10 seconds. All right. Remember, video uses a lot of battery, especially at nighttime. So if you're setting your camera to take 3-minute videos at night, it's going to drain the battery maybe more than the solar panel can handle. Okay. Record audio, you can turn audio on or off. I'm going to leave audio on and see how it sounds. So let's go to our settings. Okay, so now we have our settings, our day and time, which we've already set. Time format is 24 hours. If you're used to military time, then that's fine. But you can set it to 12-hour, which is AM, PM, and then you'll get that setting there. Date stamp on, that basically means that whenever it takes a picture or video, it's going to have the date stamp on it. So you can see that's on there. Camera name, if you want to set a camera name, you can. It's set to TC07. I'm going to leave it like that. So, all right, password setting. If you're putting your camera somewhere where you think it might get stolen, you can enter a password. You can create that by turning this on and then create your password. An important thing is that if you create a password, write it down somewhere that you're going to be able to find it, because if you forget it, the camera is basically inaccessible after that. So believe me, I get tons of comment on my videos, people asking me how to get back in their camera because they forgot their passwords, and I have to give them the bad news that there is no way to do it. It's a security feature to keep people from stealing your camera. Well, it's not actually to keep them from stealing it. They can still steal your camera, but once they steal it, they won't be able to use it. Okay, so this kind of discourages people, because if it's password protected, then they just get a camera they can't use. Okay, next we have Bluetooth here, and Bluetooth is going to be for accessing the camera remotely. There's not much here, you just got to turn it on and off. It does use a little power if you leave it on, but since it's solar powered, it's really not going to matter. Just go ahead and leave it on. If it was battery powered and you wanted maximum battery efficiency, I would say turn it off, but it just uses a tiny bit of power. The solar panel will keep up with no problem. Okay, so next we have the Wi-Fi SSID, which is simply the name that's going to be broadcast, which is that right there, TC07. No reason to do anything there. We'll just tap OK. And then the password. Now, if you want to password protect the camera, which means that you're going to need to program a password when you want to access it remotely, you can turn this on. So if you're not using it on your land and you don't want people taking the pictures off and accessing it remotely without the password, you can turn this on and set a password. In my case, it's on my land and nobody comes to my land, so I'm not worried about it, but you can set that on there. Auto Wi-Fi off, 2 minutes. Basically, if you forget to turn the Wi-Fi off after you're done accessing it, after 2 minutes of standby where it's nothing, no activity, it's going to automatically turn it off. Beep sound is obviously what you've been hearing during the course of this video. You can turn that on or off, and if you do, then you won't hear any kind of beep sound. You turn it on, and then you're going to hear the beep sound like that. Okay, language, we've already set that. Format is for formatting the SD card. If you need to do that, and I recommend that you always format your SD cards in the camera for best functionality. Default settings, if you want to return the camera back to the factory default like it was when we first started, then go ahead and use this setting right here. Technical support is going to be your email. If you have any problems, this is how you're going to contact them. Okay, version is your current version on your camera. You'll need that information for technical support whenever seeking help. Okay, and then we have the firmware update right here. If technical support releases a firmware update, you would go here to update it and load that onto an SD card, plug it in, and then activate here, which we're not going to do, but that's how they would update the firmware on the camera. And we are back to the top. All right, guys, well, there are all the settings on the camera as far as that. Let's go back to the main thing here. All right, so pressing this button here starts a recording. and records a video. And pressing this button right here allows you to play that video. Let's see. Pressing this button here starts a recording and records a video. All right, so we've got that, so you can record and you can play back your images and pictures on the screen here if you need to on the camera. So you can do that. You can record right here, or you can play back your images and stuff by pressing your playback button right here. Other than that, that's pretty simple. That's all there is to this camera. All we'll have left now is to get it out in the field and get some images for you. So, all right, well, that's all there is. It's pretty simple to operate. Turn it off. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit the thumbs up under the video to let me know it helped you out.